How much better is the Switch 2 than the Switch 1? I think that the Switch 2 is much better than the Switch 1. But the thing is, I feel like that there are definitely some things I would change and some things that I would improve. But I think it's, for the most part, much better console. Because, like, there's so many things that you can do with this. Like, especially for me, because I've always had my dock in my bed, or not my bedroom, my basement for the Switch 1. I put it up on the Switch 2 dock for my room. It's awesome. And also, yes, if you were wondering, I did set up my TV. I will say though, one of those things that need to be improved is not the game selection. I have been crushing hours and hours into Mario Kart and Donkey Kong and so many other just games that have been improved by the Switch 2. Like, for instance, Fortnite, you can use the mouse controls. I would have never thought of that if I didn't watch YouTube. Another thing I love about this is because as I have obviously grown, my hands have grown, so the Switch has become too small for me. That's not a problem anymore. This Switch 2 is so big compared to the Switch 1. Have you seen the size difference? My gosh. It is actually crazy how much bigger it is. It actually fits in my hands and I love it. And with this size increase comes a much bigger, and this is just generally better screen. I love how much bigger this is, because I used to have to squint and get really close to just read something that's kind of semi-small. But now with the Switch 2, I can read microscopic text, because not only has the screen resolution improved, but it's also just been so much bigger, so just everything else is bigger. Great adaptation, great addition. The thing I love about the Switch 2 is the chat feature. I don't have any chat people who would want to be in a video, but I love chatting with my friends as we're just chilling out playing Mario Kart in our rooms. From really far away. Back there. And he can hear me just fine, which is mind-boggling to me because there's so much that you can do with this. Well, first of all, I know that statistically there's going to be one person at the very least who has a Switch 2, not a phone, and no other way to talk to their friends. So that is the equivalent of getting a phone and being able to call your friends. Maybe not text them. I don't know how you can text on that. I don't think you can. But you can also just bring it anywhere. So it's basically a flip phone. Another thing I love about the Switch 2 is the magnetic controllers. Because this, you press a button, pull it off, that easy. This, push a button, pull it up, that easy. There's a difference though. Not just that it goes like this instead of this. The Switch 2 is held together by magnets. This is me trying to pull it off. Granted, at a very weird angle. This thing's not going to wear down, because with this, I can flick it, and it goes up. That's just how much it's worn down with this. Not great if you want to play handheld, which is the entire reason why I got a Pro controller, to just put it on a stand and play with this. Because, this doesn't come apart as you're playing. And I've had so many times where I just try to play handheld, and I'm playing mid-game, and it goes, whoops, uh-oh, now you just pause your game for the next 10 minutes as you're trying to connect the controller, and it just won't connect, because they're also just 8 years old. It's a whole thing. With this, I can probably hang from this. Probably not, but this is like so secure, I can play handheld. Man, the bar is really low for this. But like, that's a big thing. Lots of people play handheld. That's how, like, one of the 3 ways to go. You either dock it, you either, like, put it on a stand like I did. Like, you could use a stand, which, by the way, another thing, much better than this. This, I'll put it on here. 1 second. I'll put it on here. See that? It just barely stands. Like, on the couch, because not everyone, like, has a table in front of them. If it's soft at all, it'll fall. Not good. But then the Switch 2, which has a much better stand with not only a wide base, phone almost fell too, with not only a wide base, it also is adjustable. It works anywhere, and I mean it. But also, if you pull it up enough, not only could you, like, say you don't have a TV, but you want to, like, put it on the wall, you could, like, put a nail on the wall, put it all the way up like this, and hang it. Or, like, use it as a handle. Like, I have seen so many things that people have done with this, because it's just such a better stand. I don't understand. Haha, funny. But, like, how did they get this? I don't know, but I'm so glad that they, like, fixed it. Like, so much. The first one, colors. I cannot stress this enough. I probably would have gotten this anyways. But if there was any other colors, like the Switch 2 came with a normal Switch, the one I got, and the Switch that's gray, the one my dad has. People want more colors, especially with what I just said. The different colors means different Switches, so we can easily, like, decipher whose is whose. Like, for instance, my cousins and, like, my entire, like, extended family on my mom's side recently came down. They have a Switch 2. They brought it. We had to, like, there was no difference. We had to turn it on. And if it was something like this, where you couldn't, like, tell, hey, blank is playing blank, that, like, if I were to be playing, like, Mario Kart or something, you could see a little icon, but if there wasn't, you would have to go into it and check the icon at the top. That's the only way. The Switch did it right. It has colors. And then, like, this, it has colors that can change. You can make, like, this part different without making everything else look weird. With this, it doesn't look like it's supposed to change colors. And that kind of goes into the second thing. Special editions. I'm pretty sure on release, the Switch 2 didn't have any. Not that I've seen. The Switch 1, I'm pretty sure, had the Animal Crossing one, which my sister would have loved. We didn't get it, but awesome. We love those. We want special editions. Last thing, it's a little repetitive. So, basically, we got the Switch from the Nintendos. We loved it. They were like, ooh, that's where the money's at. So, bam, here's the Switch Lite. Bam, here's the Switch OLED. Bam, 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 bam. Like, all of these different types of Switch. Instead of, like, what Nintendo was known for. Like, look at the N64 controller. Look at that. It's a pitchfork. It's a pitchfork. And then the GameCube controller. It's weird. Then the Wii. It's weird. The controllers were weird. And granted, this is kind of weird. But now, like, half the games they've made, half the consoles they've made, is a Switch. And I love this. I think it's a good formula. But they could have done something weird and it would have probably brought back nostalgia of, like, looking at the new controller for the console and getting used to the new controller. Which I guess that might be something that they didn't like. Like, having people have to get used to it. But come on, it was fun. The awesome, weird controllers were fun. That's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, but the thing is, I'm very close to 50 subs, which would let me live stream, which would be awesome. So if you could just drop a little sub. Thank you.